Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one part of Team Benson, and before I have to go to work today, I wanted to take you guys through my garden for our Sunday garden tour. Alright guys, so the garden is growing. There are some issues, but for the most part, the garden is growing, and I'm pretty excited about that. There is going to be a lot of planting that needs to happen, and we supposedly had our last 100-degree day on Saturday. So hopefully now the garden can just grow and be happy and produce a lot of food. So let's walk up and start from the top and work our way back to the back. So guys, I know a lot of you guys have found my channel through Roots and Refuge, Jess at Roots and Refuge, her garden channel, and I am going to do one of her challenges coming up here this week where she talked about books being rewritten by AI and so not having correct information, and that is something that I am really passionate about because I think that everybody needs to have good information about things when it comes to medicinal medicine. So if you guys are interested in that, I will be posting that video as part of her just kind of like series. I don't think it's really a challenge. I think it's more so like a series that she's just trying to get all the information in one space. I'll be posting that on Monday. So here is my culinary herb bed, and as you guys can see, this is one of the cascading Vego garden beds. We do have a promo code with this one, so I'll link that one down below for those of you guys that are interested. But we have the oregano, we have some chervil, some German thyme, some curly parsley, some sage, some parsley, or more parsley, and some chives. Our dill did not like me missing watering for a day in 100 degrees, so I will have to replant that. And then up here we have our fennel. This was our original fennel that survived, and then I planted some more fennel seeds, and only this one has popped up so far. So I covered it just in case, and then I will hopefully get some more. Now we also, I'm looking at here, and we have our carrots that are starting to pop up. Guys, see that little spider? He lives in here. He hates when I water, but he literally has cleaned up this entire bed. And then we have some more sage and some Thai basil. Over here on the wall, we have some marigold flowers, and then we have our sweet marjoram. I am going to be putting a tree in this area, so you guys will have to stay tuned for that. And then we also have our lemon thyme on this side, and then on this side we have our rosemary. I'm trying to go in a little small space because I also have the dirt for the rest of the pots. So guys, normally we are not in triple digits this late into October, but we still had 100 degrees, so I did lose a couple things, and I did hold off on planting a couple things, which is why that dirt isn't in my Dollar Tree pots yet. But this week I'm supposed to be able to do all that. And once again, if you guys have spiders in your garden, let them be, because they clean up your garden. So all those little pesky gnats and like mosquitoes and all those different things that were in that bed, they are now gone because that spider has like literally eaten them all. Now over here is my Brassica bed. Now some people had asked me what was the hoop house. This is a hoop house. I got it on Amazon, and it has a netting that goes over it. The only reason why I didn't use that is because I wanted the green beans to be just to get more sun. The sun would have been shaded out from the green beans if I had the netting over it, and I just wanted those to really grow. It was fine because all I did was use the Dollar Tree baskets over things that were getting attacked, and most things I just started from like really like small seeds, like really small starts. I started them indoors, but then when they had like these first two leaves, not even the true leaves, I transplanted them out, so they aren't large enough to really be that affected. And as you can see, these ones are just fine because I use Dollar Tree baskets. But this is my collard green section. We have some lacinato kale here and here, and then we have some Brussels sprouts right in the middle, and then we have some Swiss chard and another dwarf kale, and these are our rattlesnake pole beans. I did plant some seeds in here. Don't remember what I planted, but we will see it once it grows up. Now down here, super excited, this is my radishes and snowball turnips. So I don't remember which one is which, but we will find out once they all grow up. And then we just have some marigolds in front of it. One of the themes you'll see in my garden bed is that a lot of times I forget what I planted. Now, the nice part is that since I do these videos, I can just go back and see, or I can just wait for the fun surprise. But we are getting to the names in my garden because some of the plants, I didn't know what they were, so we named them by our subscribers. So that's pretty exciting. We have 3 plants from 3 of our subscribers. So we have a shishito pepper here. So actually we have 4 plants because this one is marked shishito pepper. We are trying to create a Hawaiian Arizonan mix seed. So we are both growing shishito peppers from the opposite gardens. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Big Nisi. Big Nisi is Miss Eggy's child. So Miss Eggy is our oldest plant in my entire garden. She is 5 years old, and I used one of her seeds to grow this one. So this one is now Big Nisi. And then we have Yuli here, which is a mystery tomato that I have no clue what it is. I think it might be aroma. I could have completely been wrong, and it might be aroma tomato just by the way that it's growing. So we will see. And then underneath here we have a cabbage underneath there, and then we have our 2-year-old shishito pepper. This one's going on 2 years, and look at all of this fruit coming in, guys. There's fruit coming in all over this shishito pepper, and then also on this shishito pepper there's fruit coming in too. So that's pretty exciting. And then we have our brand new shishito peppers here. These ones are offsprings of that shishito pepper. Now over here we have my favorite plant. This one is the black cherry tomato. It is getting nice and tall. Look at that, guys. It's growing on a mighty crop, and eventually it's going to cover these arches both this way and that way by the time we get to the spring. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. And we have our giant basil that it just like doubled in growth. After us trimming it, it completely doubled in growth, and now it's trying to go to seed, so we're gonna have to give it a big haircut. And then we have our ginger right here in front. Now guys, I talk a lot about letting insects prune things, or if insects are pruning things, and that's how you know it's time for you to do a big prune on them. And I think that this basil plant is a big kind of like example of that. This basil plant is now 2 years old. I'm going to overwinter it again. I overwintered it last year, and we took a big harvest out of it. I dried a whole bunch of basil, and then we were eating basil all summer long to where then we just got tired of basil. So then the insects came in, they had their fill, and now they're gone, and now it's back and it's trying to go to seed. So when the plant is ready to go to seed, it needs to just get some of those extra leaves off of it, so it will put out a chemical for the insects to come and eat it if you are not eating it. So now I'm going to go ahead and prune it again because I don't want it to go to seed. I don't want basil seeds everywhere, and I don't plan on putting in another basil plant because I want to overwinter this one. So I'm just going to dehydrate all of this basil. Now over here is quickly turning into our bean bed. We have some Pioneer bush beans in front here. We have Big Kahuna bush beans in the back, and we have one Roma tomato left. This Roma tomato died, but we have the one left, so we're gonna try and keep that one alive. It's looking a little sick, but hopefully it'll do well. And then underneath here we have some more cabbages. Also back here, you guys see these new little babies coming in? Those are some snow peas. So that's gonna be exciting. I'm gonna grow those up the arch while the tomato grows. So the tomato will take over by the spring, but that'll give time for the snow peas to grow. And then over here we have our big, huge lemongrass. So guys, my Roma tomatoes suffered in this bed, and here's why. They suffered because I did not give enough time for my Armenian cucumber roots to get composted by the worms in there. There are worms in there, they're composting worms, and they were working as fast as they could, but I buried those tomato plants really, really deep, which then meant that they were fighting for water with the existing roots that were already in there, because those roots were still full and white and soaking up water. So it really competed for water in there. Now the beans are doing well because the beans don't have such deep roots, so they weren't really competing with the Armenian cucumber roots. But you know, it happens to the best of us. We will plant some tomatoes and get them going again, some more Romas, or we will just depend on the other tomatoes that we have in our garden, like our cherry tomatoes and our big beefsteaks, because last year we had an amazing Roma season, and we do still have Roma tomatoes in the freezer that we still can can up. Now over here, look at this progress, guys. Our broccolis are getting big. This bed always does the best for my broccoli because it gets the most sun. So if I can get the broccoli protected, which meaning that it doesn't get attacked by the moth, so I can get it in early, get this over that and protected, then it will produce a ton of broccoli for a long period of time. We also do have some cilantro, one left right here. The other cilantros died. It was too hot for them. And then we have some parsley. Our peas have not popped up, but right in here, these little things right here are radishes, and those are starting to pop up there and there. So that's pretty exciting. And then we have our cucumber plant, which hopefully we get some cucumbers on it shortly, because that would be nice. I'm pretty sure it's a bush one, so we will see. And then over here we have our sweet marjoram peppers, still one of my favorite peppers because I think that they're so beautiful. I love the leaf pattern on these, and they're pretty delicious. And then down here we have our medicinal bed. We have a yarrow, we have some hyssop, some borage, and then an echinacea that I planted that I think that that's what this little guy right here is. Either that or that's a weed. I don't know. And then we have a random yellow mustard green right there. Now up here we have our Chinese multicolored spinach, which is also called amaranth. It is starting to put off its flowers, so I want this to go to flower because I want to use the grain. I saw a video where they use the grains to make like a oatmeal or like a nutrition bar type situation, and I want to try doing that. We also have some kale in here, and then the one back there died, so I think I'm just going to replace that with some mustard greens. And then we have some orange hat tomatoes right here on the top. Guys, I love this part of the year. The fall is when we can just really have just so much in our garden. And I got a lot of questions because a lot of people found me during the summer this year, and they were like, how are you possibly gonna grow food? And it is fall is when we have our big harvest of food. We can grow fall, winter, and summer, and spring. So we can grow all year long, and we have a bonus season. We have a monsoon season that we can also plant things. We didn't get monsoon this year, but hopefully next year we'll get it. Now this is one of my other tomatoes. This is a big beefsteak tomato. And then we also have some radishes. These radishes are starting to get off more of their leaves, which is nice. We have all of those below. And then we have in our other Vego garden bed, which look at the stickers, they crack me up. We have some rattlesnake pole beans on the sides here and there, which they're starting to make their climb, guys. And then we have potatoes in the middle here. This is one of my potato beds. I will show you guys the next one. We have a sweet potato bed here, which look at how pretty this is. Now I have let these root in each of the pots, as you can see. So hopefully I can get a few sweet potatoes out of that one vine. We have our mulberry tree, which is a giant. I'm really hoping we get land soon so that then we can, put that out there. So guys, if you follow my community page part, you could see that I posted a picture of some land that we are trying to get. We're putting in offers for it, so we're trying to get it. Fingers crossed. If we get it, I cannot wait to take you guys out there because it is absolutely beautiful and gorgeous. It is in the mountains because we are mountain people. And yeah, we can't wait. So fingers crossed and lots of prayers. Now I have started planting out some of my Dollar Tree pots. We have some spinach right here in this one on these two, and then we have some orange hat tomatoes on the tops of them. This is my second potato bed right here. This is going to be used for one of the trees, but for right now it's going to be potatoes. And then my lemon balm, it got wrecked, guys. It got burnt up in these 100-degree temps. This is now dried lemon balm. And then we have some thyme here, and we also have our curry, and the curry is almost done giving me all the seeds, so time for a seed swap. So over here, I think I planted some greens down below here. So we will see once they get a little bit bigger. But guys, my midget cantaloupe is covered in aphids. And yeah, I cursed myself. So guys, when I did my last video about bugs that were in my garden, I didn't see the aphids, and I didn't notice that they were even there because normally I don't even have aphids in my garden at this time. Usually I get aphids in my garden when I leave a summer like vegetable like a squash or a cucumber or a melon in my garden to where it's winter time. And I mean like December, January, winter time is normally when I get them. I'm pretty sure I got aphids on that one because it's not in the direct sun because of this umbrella. It is covering, dropping stuff, it is covering that plant so it wasn't getting those full 100-degree temperatures that it would like. I should have taken this umbrella down, but there was a lot of stuff underneath it here that I didn't want to destroy, and I mean, if that sacrificed the melons, I will just grow those in the spring. Now over here we have our dwarf Mexican lime that is growing back fully, so hopefully we get some limes coming up here. Sometimes we get them twice a year. I think this is going to be a 1 lime harvest year. And then we have some poblano peppers over here, some jalapenos right there and right there. We have an Anaheim pepper right there. We have the squash is starting to come back a little bit right here. And then we have some carrots, which I'm gonna need to go back in and fill in some of these pots because it had some sparse germination. So I'm gonna have to go in and put in some more. And then in here we have some giant mustard greens, which obviously I need to thin. Now this Dollar Tree pot, I'm going to get some more marigolds and put just marigolds right here for the bees. And then we have our green onions are popping up quite nicely. They are getting a really good germination on these. And then we have Diane, who's our mystery pepper right there. She's doing good. And then we also have our cayenne pepper. And that is it, guys. That is the garden. Now we still do have a lot of planting that is going to be happening here in the garden coming up shortly. We have some of our hanging pots all need something in them, and then our Dollar Tree pots need something in them. Our beds are pretty full, but we do have a couple of things that I want to get planted just in a lot of the extra pots. So this is the year that I want to make sure that I have a full garden. So we are maxing out this little space back here in my garden to be able to grow as much food as possible. But I hope that you guys are having an amazing Sunday, and I hope that you guys are growing your fall gardens. If you're not growing a fall garden and it's cold where you are, I hope that this gives you a little bit of green happiness and joy. And I am just praying for peace around the world and in Israel. So till next time, grow yourselves a garden, because even a small space can provide you with tons of food. Bye guys.